everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Misfit Menagerie, or
Cast. Happy birthday, Rio.
belated.
It was funny because I watch our show a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like me and like one other person, it might have been you. I think we were the only ones who ever got our birthdays acknowledged last year. So your time is coming.
Let's see if you remember.
I'm super down. We'll just blipe out my age when it comes up.
Yeah. I specifically did not mention.
He's gonna be 26.
26.
I desperately don't want to be 26 anymore. I'm 37. We're fine with that.
It's been a few weeks since we've done the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, so I'm excited to get back into the story as we are kind of having our first full episode within the primordial forest that is Thither, the realm of the here
Cast.
and now. You have to say it with more feeling, more presence, more aggression. Yes! There we go.
Or say it in such a way that makes Coulter
So Jake, wait like 20 minutes
and then
and
say
then
it
yell it into the mic.
right when he's starting a new sentence. That's how Mark always got him.
Yeah.
Because he would always wait for him to like be in a breath beat, and then he would do it, and then he would lose all thought.
It's like a hard reset button.
Or Mark was a magician.
I am not fully sure about that.
He would study enough to be a wizard, I'm sure.
And speaking of magic,
Stumping.
I think that's a good fuck you. Fuck you so hard. I can't walk it away. I had such a good segue. And then you found the reset button. Good job, Jake. Good job, Jake.
Yeah, he hit the technical difficulty button.
This is gonna make no sense in the recording, and I'm okay with that. I don't want this to make sense in the recording.
I kind of want a technical difficulties button where you can still hear us.
Yeah. God damn it, what is working?
If you watch on Twitch, we have a 10-minute countdown, and you can cram a lot of stupid conversation into 10 minutes right before we go live.
And Coulter's always like, 20 seconds, get it out of our systems now, and we never do.
No.
Speaking of things that are magical, I think that brings us to recapitation.
Hey! Previously on Wild Witchlight. We were in the Hag's Cottage still, the tower, but we had pretty much cleared it all. We enjoyed a lovely sleep, and then we're like, let's get the F out of here. So we leave the tower and we go on to Clappercon. We're like, what up, dude? Here is your head. And he's like, awesome. So I will totally take you to Thither, but I don't have a way to get there. I'm not a bus driver. And we're like, okay, that makes sense. So we're like, we'll get something to get us there. We'll be back. We go up to the king. We're like, hey, king. So we, took care of that hag for you. You're welcome. And he did not pay us immediately in gratitude. And in fact, started to get a little bit aggressive, uppity, one might say, and was gonna take us into custody, was like, hey, if the hag comes back, she will be mad. So you will stay. And so we're like, well, here, let me give you this cool stone. You can message us if she comes back. We'll stand trial or whatever it is she needs from us. And as the king is mulling that over, one of his nobles stabs him. And so he dies. And now we have a new king, Illig, who is like pro the hag being gone, does not try to stop us from leaving. See you later. So then we commandeer a hot air balloon, as heroes do, and grab Clappercaw, and off we go to Thither. I feel like we had another person with us.
We did. We had the knight. What Rio just said.
Who?
Morgort.
Right.
And
He
to
was
be
like,
clear,
"What's up?"
we were given the balloon. We did not steal it.
Okay, well, commandeering sounds cooler. Okay. So we get there. It was a pretty easy journey. And you know what? Thither looks great. It looks very pretty. So we land, and Morgort is still with us, or she's pieced out then?
She pieced out.
Okay. So she had things to do. I'm sure she'll come back in the future. So then we're like, whoa, what's up with these footprints? They're really big. We follow them. Then they disappear as if maybe this thing could fly. Who knows? We don't see it. And then, hey, there's a cave over there. Solstice is like, we don't need to go in that cave. And everyone's else, well, maybe we should go into the cave. And it turned out we shouldn't, because we all got really cool magical items made by Nib. This dude that is like exiled in here from a hag himself, Granny Nightshade, who also is looking for some guy called Will
of the Feywild.
of the Feywild. Recapitated.
And I have one retcon to add to the exit of Morgort and Clapperclaw. As the balloon took off from the field in which you landed and ascended back into the mists, they called back, "If you ever need to return to Hither, just call us on that nifty sending stone you made."
Oh, nice.
That fucking thing.
Don't they need the other half of the sending stone? Did you make two?
I lost it.
Oh.
What's funny is
So wait, you were going to give Ping?
I made up the sending stone.
What? I thought you were trustworthy.
Who told you?
When we left off last time, Nib, who was a miser that has been cursed by Scabatha Nightshade to spend all eternity, the rest of his life, weaving all of the gold that he'd swindled and hoarded from the citizens of the slums of Waterdeep into thread to create items, had allowed you to stay in his cave as long as you would like, as well as that he would gladly answer questions if you had any that he was privy to. He warned not to take any of the gold from his cave, lest you be stricken with the curse that he suffers, where you learned why he was blindfolded when you came into the cave, as he sits with the band over his eyes, constantly weaving, hefting more handfuls of gold into the spinet, because there are apparitions that haunt him eternally of all of the people that he harmed in his life.
We could all be so lucky.
Wait, you want to see people you die?
I just wish bad people were haunted by their mistakes.
Oh.
Okay, so where's the hack?
Yeah, where this
We're
bitch
jumping right in.
She lives in her stronghold of Loomlurch. It is to the north of here by the winds, though there is much land to cover between here and there.
We just came from here.
I thought you came from hither.
Does that not mean here?
Proper names versus statements of location.
Well, I mean, I understand that hither would be the proper name, but I mean, like, in a different language, it might be here.
Here as in the location in which you presently stand.
What dangers, fate would we face in our travels north?
I have not left the cave since I made this deal, but I will tell you that there are corruptions that she has left in her wake in this place.
Beings, corrupted beings.
Beings, features of the land, the woods themselves.
Is there a way to spot these distortions?
I've never gotten close enough to touch any myself, but I would say that keeping a wide eye, they will not be hard to see.
That makes it hard to see.
You see north, but like where north? Like what is there? Like is it a castle? Is it a
A massive fallen log.
Okay.
I can tell you that she has a key protruding from her back, and it indicates her mood by how fast it turns. When she's pleased, as when she cursed me, it turns quickly. When she is angered, it turns slowly. If she loses her temper, it stops completely.
And then she dies?
No, then she continues the torments that she engages upon land. Many children toil away in her workshop, crafting toys, and she delivers the worst of these onto the mortal plane, working to spread nightmares, bursums. She makes her deliveries on the back of a flying rocking horse. If you hear that horrid creaking overhead, it means she is nearby.
How far are we now from the entrance of the cave?
You can still see the light of it. I would say you're probably about, 30 yards back.
Okay.
The sun outside is clearly beginning to set.
Anytime I hear somebody say outside, I want to say it's frightful.
Yes. And inspiration for Dan.
Dan is
Thank you.
inspiring.
Yeah.
You guys told me I'm not allowed to give it to myself.
Jeltra, would you mind rolling for me a d8? Because you were not with us when all of these gifts were handed out. So
Yeah, I was like, everyone got cool stuff?
Except for Jeltra.
I got a waistcoat of holding.
7?
you receive a wand of secrets.
Ooh.
It's not our third one. I think that's our third wand of secrets.
Maybe there's lots of hidden things.
Just like funny, it's like
Yeah, we really should get more into the habit of waving that thing around more, I guess.
3 charges while holding it. You can use an action to expend one of its charges, and if a secret door or trap is within 30 feet of you, the one pulses and points at the nearest one.
Lovely.
I just think it's funny.
great.
Like some people are investing in Bitcoin. We're like super into the wands of secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where all our wealth is tied up in.
Yeah.
You know?
And this one's made of gold.
I have a golden one.
We should really be starting to rent these out.
We should really start to melt some of these down.
I don't know about that.
More precious.
You know, we could rent them out to escape rooms. Like stand outside of escape rooms and like, hey, you want a wand of secrets?
Lastly, beyond Loom Lurch, also northwards, we are at the southern bounds of her land, is where you may find Will.
Yes, I think we saw a wanted poster.
If your goal is what I think it is, he may be useful to all of you. He knows the inner workings, as he himself escaped from her workshop and helped several of the other children escape with him. They're known as the Getaway Gang. They're protected by a treant named Little Oak. And while I cannot leave, I can point you in the direction.
Oh, Little Oak.
And Loom Lurch.
Does she have any allies here that we should be on the lookout for?
Namely those she created herself and her creature.
A creature.
It leaves great tracks in the ground.
Think we saw some.
I've never seen it myself, but the rumors that I have heard are that few who have lived to tell.
Excellent.
We'll keep you updated on that.
Please, anytime you need a place to rest, my abode is open as long as there's gold to weave.
It's very generous
Well, thank
of
you.
Thank you.
Beyond then, it may also be available, but I will be dead.
Fair enough.
Thank you for your hospitality and generosity. We don't need to rest, do we? I think we just started
I
going.
think we rested in the hag's house. I don't think we've done anything since.
We just flew here.
So
But if the
we
sun's going
should
down,
be okay. Is the night dark and filled with terrors?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's just my head. My head is dark and full of terrors.
Okay, is the sun going down?
It was setting. You could see through the opening to the cave that it was getting darker outside.
Is that? But do we feel like that's odd because we just came from hither where it was like early in the morning, or?
I mean, this is a strange and wondrous place.
I'll admit, to be honest, I don't know if Nib, was it? Is the most trustworthy person to sleep around.
What makes you say that?
You just give us stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, people usually give you stuff before they stab you in the back.
Poor fellow is stuck in this cave.
He's cursed to his own fate.
We would just haunt him.
It's true. Well, would we haunt you if you murdered us, or only if you had gouged us on rent?
I will admit I am incapable of harm now or defending myself.
I mean, technically, if you gouge us on rent, that probably would contribute to our death if we couldn't find somewhere to sleep. Right? So he probably did kill people.
I mean, either way, it's literal gouging or metaphorical gouging.
Well, I don't want to be gouged.
I don't think we're going to be gouged.
Oh, good.
Any gouging, Nib?
My gouging days are long past. I'm merely here to atone.
Ooh, weird fairy tale loophole. What if the people who are hunting him harm us?
Don't worry.
The being.
Oh, the one-armed man standing behind him that has been kind of staring daggers at him this whole time looks up and goes,
No offense, but I've never been known to trust apparitions. And we're double mirrored in at this point.
Hold on one second, and then I stare at
Double mirror scenario.
I stare at Nib for a while, and I look around.
he's wearing his blindfold as he continues to weave.
I think we're safe from the apparitions. Yes, I said that. We're safe. Shut up. We're safe.
The being, is it a nocturnal creature? Do you know?
From what I know, it does not seek rest.
Oh, great. Okay, well, we could travel by night in a strange land that seems terribly dangerous.
Yes.
Or we stay here until the day breaks, losing more time to this place, but...
I will point out my one last reservations about staying here. This would be a third night in a row that we are sleeping communally, my love.
I think you have to take it into your heart that we're going to be sleeping communally for a while. We've had many years where multiple times a day we could boast of our lovemaking, so we've stored up some reserves.
Remember when we got kicked out of that plane?
That was the first time you did X.
Dot.
Insert act here.
I'm not gonna say it.
Cut away.
So what is your plan next? Are you planning on resting here, or are you planning on continuing on?
Just feel like resting here is such a terrible idea, but Cody has run out of arguments, so he will stop.
We can easily take turns watch, and I'm even thinking maybe like we could send two people to kind of scout around a little bit as well. Well, is that rude?
Percy's already set up his bedroll.
Okay.
I think Solstice and Cody should go scout out.
Okay. We can do that.
Or as I was going to say, I'm like, Jeltra's already walking to the mouth of the cave to go look at things, and then they're behind. Oh, okay. Then she turns around and
Just go to bed.
That's probably a good idea.
Oh, Jeltra, you should become a cat and take a cat nap.
That would be cute.
Can you imagine Jeltra all curled up on top of Nickade, like purring away? It would be so cute, kitty.
So what I'm hearing is that Percy, Nickade, and Jeltra are resting in the cave, and Cody and I want to say Solstice again.
No, you did.
Tempest is the bad one. Solstice.
Don't put it in his head.
Stop it!
That Cody and Solstice are going on a walk.
Yes, but a brief walk.
Well, I just wanted to kind of scope out our
Clear the
meeting
pipe.
area, see if see also if I see anything about this giant winged being. Just kind of So maybe
Seems
within like
a
within a half, I would say a mile around here, I would
Man.
do a circuit or something.
Can you roll a d8 for me?
So
Here's 4.
4, okay. As you are beginning to kind of make this perimeter in the sun setting forest, all of it appears in this area to be incredibly lush. Much life around as the sounds of the forest are beginning to dwindle and change to the crickets of night. And there's a clearing up ahead that you can clearly see as the moonlight begins to shine through that canopy. And
A perfect place to take you, my love.
getting closer, you hear music.
Oh, I even feel like I
Why
hear the strains of music.
why are all the good clearings always occupied?
It's magical. I twirl into the clearing to see someone.
Twirling into the clearing, the music becomes louder and louder as it resolves from just a wayward melody into the voice of one moment, because I have to remove some things here, and now it's just
The
two
voice of a moment.
and the moment is you. And two, what you see is a fairy ring, where there are mushrooms growing in a circle of varying colors, and
Yeah, you won't sleep in the cave, but you go to the freaking fairy circle.
Right.
in the center of the circle is a swarm of campestri, roughly 60 of them in
Oh my
number,
What's
as they dance
The little
amongst each
mushrooms
other,
that sing.
Oh, okay.
singing fairly atonally, but occasionally coming together into these lovely harmonies, all of them very, very excited and dancing around one another.
Oh, wonderful. Look what we found.
I'm not opposed still to our original plan.
No, not at all. I feel like it would be this beautiful moment. Okay, so we fuck. Then we continue our circuit.
How close do you get to the fairy circle?
I think just inside the clearing, maybe.
Polite distance away to have a sex act in front of a sentient creature?
16.
Point of clarity, do the mushrooms then start miming the notes being...
So,
Oh, gosh.
as you begin to consummate the beautiful relationship that you both have, there is a moment where you hear a silence in the clearing, and looking over, all of the mushrooms have stopped and turned
Oh.
and are watching. And then slowly, one by one, they begin to pick up the sounds and turn them into a song.
Lovely.
The gods have blessed
This
us, my
is
love.
truly a once-in-a-lifetime event.
You know, I must say, this is an all-new, epic kind of afterglow.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. When we walk by that tomorrow,
Can I have you both roll performance checks?
My best friends. What am I rolling?
performance. How well are you doing in the Sacrio?
More about what
Dan,
sounds.
help me out.
More about
Dan,
what sounds you're making.
look at
Don't
Yeah.
you ask for inspiration
Don't
right
you
now.
dare.
You roll the
Fucking inspiration.
roll the dice right now. Let it go.
I
Let it
gotta
go.
wait for the-
Let it go. Let it
That's all I
go.
gotta
Hey,
do.
let's drop it.
All right.
Drop at 13.
13?
9 plus
And -1.
4, so 13 as well.
Oh, wow.
As you
We're so in sync.
as you conclude and are now resting in the full moonlight, the sun completely gone, the stars coming through the canopy of this clearing, two of the campestries hop forward out of the circle, both of them still singing their newest tune. They give you both Charms of Heroism.
Oh, fuck yes. Please, fuck, man. I'm sorry, charm of what?
Charm of Heroism.
Heroism. Yeah.
2 party members left the party to go off and fuck in the forest, and they get rewarded?
Whereas I was thinking, I'm like, I'm just gonna like recite one of the stories that my grandma was, I grew up on.
So that's what I love about
entertain
D&D.
us.
They would have given you a
Charm of
after.
heroism. This charm allows you to give yourself the benefit of a potion of heroism.
Oh.
Let me go look up what that does.
As we leave our star-struck, bathed lovers,
Star-fucked lovers.
Oh, that's nice.
star-crossed, star-bathed lovers, we will return to the cave. And what are the rest of you doing? Are you heading to sleep immediately, or?
No, like I said, Jeltra was going to maybe just start telling one of the stories that her grandmother brought her up with, and just like, well, reminiscing, and it's a new place, and the forest reminds her of home, and so she's going to tell a story.
Okay.
Don't ask me to tell a story. I'm like, I would like her to do that.
The Kate is curled up in a little puddle right next to Jeltra.
You can tell the story
The
about
bunny
how
puddle.
Bat convinced Rooster to give up his flight in exchange for Bat's singing voice. That's a good one.
The apparitions seem to settle themselves. None of them coming closer or moving out of the shadows, but each of them settling into a resting position as their attention turns from Nib to what you were telling. It becomes clear that in all of the time that they've been here, while they've served their purpose, there's not been a lot of new activity. And Nib himself, though he never stops spinning the gold, and your story is occasionally punctuated by the sounds of jingling coins, he gets another handful to add to the mill, has a dampness underneath the blindfold, listening.
Aww.
But nobody gives you a challenge. Nice try.
I made someone else cry.
And with that,
I mean,
we
Solstice
will
definitely made me cry.
return Cody and Solstice to the cave, unless there's anything else you wanted to do out in the wilderness.
Is there any
Anyone
more,
else?
like any waterfalls or like epic vistas that we could also make love on and have eagles or water nymphs reward us?
Not in the immediate vicinity.
We'll keep an eye out.
As I believe last time we went over a little bit, where Nib's cave is located, there are mountains on a lot of the sides. So this clearing where you saw the sort of Campestry in the fairy circle is kind of between two of the mountains, where you would be able to progress into the broader forest. But if you keep going, it's going to be farther away from the cave.
Which we don't want.
Return.
If I return with my waistcoat on backwards and be like, we are back from scouting.
We fucked in front of many mushrooms.
Both sentient and non.
And then the little bear said, someone's been sleeping in my bed, and there they are.
Percy's probably snoring, not because he's like not into it, but like it's just comforting, and so he's probably just like,
Absolutely.
You know, in that story, I never understood why the bears didn't just maul the little girl.
I mean, she was trespassing, yes.
Yes, and they are bears. They're notorious for mauling small
But
children.
they're also a civilized family who just wanted their porridge to... Never mind.
I don't think you've met many bears.
You may be right, though. They are porridge-eating bears. They are vegetarian, maybe.
True, true. Unless it's a meat porridge.
Was it a meat
I
porridge?
don't think it was a meat porridge.
Did it say specifically that it wasn't a meat porridge?
Yes, in my story, it's not a meat porridge.
So your interpretation of the story, they are vegetarians.
No, and what Granny told me about the story, it was...
And you know, bears already do eat honey and mushrooms and whatnot.
Oh no, it's bedtime.
You all
Every time I start a conversation, somebody says that.
all comfortably receive a long rest with the white noise machine that is Nib's constant spinning, jangle, spinning, jangle, keeping a rhythmic balance throughout the evening.
All right. Next morning, get my exercise. Go out and do some exercising. But definitely looking for this creature. I'm looking at things.
Can I have you roll a nature check?
4.
The birds are chirping. The tank is
Come and
clean.
grackle.
Yes.
That's clearly a robin. One of the most easily distinguished birds of the kingdom.
You don't know.
I just picture supposed to being like, look at me.
I will go ahead and put Nib's cave on the map, so you know where you are.
But we got a ways to
Nib.
go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought we were. All right.
at the bottom.
Can I,
So what can we see in the distance? Go ahead.
can I take one of the wand of secrets we got from the creepy frog? And then I want to go to Nikkei and it's like, all right. First you told me this is a wand of secrets. So tell me a lie, and we'll see if we can use this to determine if people in the future are trying to kill us or not.
The kid looks at you and then he looks at the wand. And he looks back at you and goes, my fur is a very nice bright brown.
Really? I always thought it was gray.
I look back at the wand.
Oh, I'm supposed to use that was the, oh, okay. And I will use the wand on him.
The wand grows hot in your hand as this gray, black, white, alternating light begins to spill out of it towards Nikkei, and right before it touches him, saps back into the wand and up your arm.
Guess what? Guess what? And I will throw it at the ground.
And as you throw it to the ground, the light extinguishes as the wand becomes just a piece of wood, and this sensation fills your body of a piece of yourself that was missing returned.
You can lie now. Please, for the love of God, say that.
Or does he realize he's dressed hideously?
I mean, one of them is more obvious than the other.
The fashion sense is a different artifact. But
So I still think I look amazing, is what you're saying.
yeah,
I'm like, quickly, what's wrong with me? And I'm like grabbing Nikkei and like shaking him.
As I'm like getting
If this
shaken,
wand made me impotent, I blame you somehow.
it's like, nothing is wrong with you.
Use magic, and I'm like shaking his head to get like the magic sense.
Message, and I go, you're fine, put me down.
The voice in my head just said, "I'm fine."
That was me.
No, Nikkei, it just sounds like you. It gives me insight into your thoughts sometimes, but it's not actually you.
Do I know that that was a lie? Obviously, because I know that I cast the...
Yeah.
And I just go, oh. Solstice!
Well, but it's also a very
He
cody thing
believes
to
it.
say.
Then it's your truth.
I just explained to him the feeling I had when I got my artistic ability back, and is that how you felt?
No, it felt like a horrible burning sensation, and then like something. I got heavy all of a sudden, almost as if I don't know.
Well,
Clearly
try to
something.
Try to say a lie.
We are not in a mirror realm. We're not in a mirror. We're not in a mirror realm. We're not. Not at all.
It just
I fucking hate this.
That might actually be the truth.
Yeah, we may be, but I think now we know you can lie again.
I
Logic.
think you guys have never truly given my mirror theory a fair shake. I'd just like to point that out.
I have been open to it.
Well, I would say just watch out for that arm because it might fall off later. You never know what's happening with these places.
Children, why would you say that?
I'm just saying to keep an eye out for it.
This is the arm that I use to caress my love.
I did not need to know. I did not need to know.
It's my third favorite limb.
Jen. I hand a piece of gold to Percy. That was amazing, Jotra.
Wait, which one's this one? My left or right one? Both of them. Yes. I always thought of that as more of an extremity than a leg.
The first one's your head.
Which head?
That's what she was talking about. Clearly.
Now you are all out in the clearing outside of the cave as we have regained another of the missing gifts.
Jump.
Yes.
The sky is purple.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it clearly is. Look at that. Such a purple
I
sky.
don't know if this is a good thing.
Now, Cody.
Yes. My name is no longer Cody. It is now Windstrom.
Windstrom.
We had a very flagrant sexual encounter with a Windstrom in Eberron once.
Oh, so you didn't.
He had attachments.
So we didn't. That was
No.
all I know.
I was. Oh, this is going to get confusing. Should I just go back to not lying?
Probably.
Maybe.
Tell me with us. Let's try to stay to the truth.
You know, I have gotten quite used to honesty.
It suits you.
I'll never lie to you if you never lie to me.
Here.
Have you lied to me previous? Because we didn't have that agreement before.
It was an honor system. You look great.
I'm gonna walk forward a little bit.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, we're
like
walking.
a
We're
little-
walking and talking.
Yeah.
A little bit ahead. Got my eyes still for this creature though.
Are you guys going kind of like the same direction you went last night where you found that opening, or are you going a different way where you're
I feel like we should
What can
probably.
you see in the distance?
I feel like we should avoid that clearing.
But they're my
The
favorite.
sex clear. It's such
I don't
good
wanna-
vibes.
I don't want to hear a choir of
I
moaning.
might have learned a new
mushrooms.
song by now.
Or they made
Or they
Yeah.
Can I
16
climb
moaning little
a tree
mushrooms?
to try and get my bearings?
Sure.
Yeah, we might just be able to see trees right now.
That's true.
You want me to roll for it?
Roll perception.
Okay.
Because the trees where you are right now, the trees are like lush and lively enough to be able to support you. What fine? But
Ooh, hang on a second before I say what I rolled. 9, 15.
thanks for the inspiration, Dan.
Yep. I didn't get to use it on my sexual prowess check, but
As you reach a point in this treetop, it's clear that you can't see terribly far just because of how dense this forest is. But you do see that looking in the direction that you'd gone the night before, something is off. The colors aren't as vibrant as you remembered them. Where before the green was verdant and it was just kind of pulsing with this feeling of life, there's some sort of muted feeling to it.
well, companions, I feel like if we keep hopping mirrors, eventually we're going to lose all color and vibrancy.
What?
Well, it's just we're 2 mirrors in, and now everything's a little just drabber than usual. Here.
Wait, perhaps it's one of those distortions Nib talked about.
Oh, perhaps.
Secrets! When I need
No,
the
we're gonna
wand,
always use the one.
Jeldra has one.
Oh, yes.
I believe mine was just a vessel for my own ability to tell falsehoods.
Looking at the ground, it
Or
is now.
was it?
Looking at the ground, it is now a wand-shaped stick.
Correct.
Okay. One stick.
I want to
Would
create.
you like to use your wand?
Or no. Can. I don't know
So we give it a
what we
shot.
might find.
I mean,
Well,
we know
there's my
you
inventory.
guys used your wands last night. So.
It is important. I'm hoping that you're using your wand as well, Nighty.
So,
If you don't use it,
She
you
goes
lose.
bright red and starts flying. No way.
Sure. Okay. We'll talk later.
Don't stay within. Stay where we can see you.
Kate, you are right, because I thought we'd had this discussion a while ago, but you know, it's always good to clarify. Go ahead.
I don't know what I'm doing. That I've not used the
You're
wand before.
activating it?
D12.
Yes, so I'll use a charge of the wand of secrets for today.
Once it's been pointed out, there is a strange, like almost gradient to the leaves going forward, and this light from the wand, very faint, nearly a misty purplish blue, begins to extend before you, and you see as it follows the same gradient becoming muted and then diffusing.
Oh, did you see that? What?
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Oh,
What does
this is amazing. Do you think if we walk that way, then we'll start losing color?
And as
I mean,
reflections of our former selves, that could be very dangerous.
I don't know what I like better.
Perhaps we should just avoid.
Can I like? Can we take if we take a few minutes? I can see if this is like magic or something.
Okay, I have time.
Wait.
I'm gonna ritually cast detect magic.
I'm going to give Solstice a very thorough shoulder massage.
You realize, distance-wise, you should be hearing music right now.
So as soon as I realized that, I rushed to the clearing.
Okay. And while you're rushing, your detect magic ritually cast shows not any specific spell, but there is an aura of arcane corruption.
Cody, don't.
I have to run and save the Campestries. They're the only people in Thither who knew of my sexual prowess. I have to.
But this is like there's like bad magic.
No, I mean, like, he's already gone. So.
I'm yelling after you.
As you reach the circle, where before there was a lush green opening, the colors have nearly entirely faded.
They include these maps in the module?
No.
Oh, thank God. This is a very sad turn of events.
Fall to my knees in sorrow.
Are the Campestry okay?
There aren't any in sight. Instead, as you reach the clearing, the mushrooms that are still forming a circle seem to shift as you hear one yell, "Fuck you!"
Fuck you!
Cody, what did you do?
This has been our fault.
No, there is nothing more natural than what we did last night. This is deeply unnatural.
You guys later
Why?
photosynthesized? I'm so confused. What happened?
I'm so sorry, young man. You will be avenged.
Are you as stupid as you are ugly? Another mushroom in there.
Much prettier.
Oh, those are the ones that tried to fuck in our clearing last night. Terrible at it. Really terrible sexual prowess.
What?
I attacked that one.
I hold you back.
Sully's my good name.
Finally, someone's speaking the
I
truth.
am not very smart, and I am quick to anger.
Excuse me, mushroom.
Are you as bad at talking as he is at fucking? Because you sound like an idiot. A fourth mushroom.
What the hell is
Trying to
happening
get at
here?
my sleeves, you're grabbing my wrist so I can't get at my darts. Just like,
Is that a question you ask a lot long ears?
Yes.
Produce flame.
And then there's a kind of a cackling that spreads throughout all of the mushrooms in the ring.
Throw it, children.
Fine.
Alchemist fine.
She won't let me use my hands. He.
What
all
has
my-
happened here?
Probably just your stink corrupting the place.
I take out the beating heart.
Stink.
Are we all colored faded as well?
No.
No.
So just the
we're
surroundings. Okay.
Does anything happen as I take out the beating heart or as I reach for it?
okay. That's gonna be Jake's thing. I was like, every situation we come into, beating heart.
Tell that after
My name is you in a heart.
have a heart.
Cold, cold heart. I'm done by you.
I reach into my waistcoat of holding and I feel around for that vanish potion I was given.
Okay.
And then I debate whether or not to use it.
Oh, I see what
No, not worth it. I very visibly take a deep breath and I exhale the bad and the anger. And I'm told this clearing was full of life before. What happened? It is incredibly dull.
And joy and song.
Oh, what? Is it like looking in a mirror?
Gravely, grotesquely so, yes.
What do these mushrooms want? Can I make a nature check to give them what they want so they'll be cool?
Come, take a deep breath and take some of my spores, long ears.
Mushrooms. I would very much like it if instead of giving us any useful information, you would insult me as much as possible.
Have you all approached at all, or are you keeping your distance?
No, we're keeping our distance
Yeah.
a little bit.
Wasn't planning on doing anything else, Shorty.
No.
You trying to climb that tree next to you?
Yes, as much as possible. Am I supposed to be insulted about my height? I was born this way. I have no compunctions about being the shortest member in the party. Well, I mean, relatively.
Understandable.
Didn't even see Pipsqueak.
We don't have a companion named Pipsqueak. Wait, I'm sorry. Do we have a companion named Pipsqueak?
There's a cackling again that spreads throughout the circle as one of them just turns to the other and you hear the whisper, "Stupid, they're all stupid, stupid, stupid." Just a chorus.
At least we can leave if we want to. You're stuck in the ground.
You want us to leave?
No, I'm just saying I at least have free will.
As that happens, the mushrooms begin to uproot.
Shit!
And the circle splits as they begin to move away from each other and away from all of you. And as that circle is finally broken from what you've commented, there is this wave of loss that spreads out from it as the magic that was within is gone. And all of the mushrooms settle once more, now into a half circle rather than a full.
I didn't mean to do that. I really didn't mean to do that. I just thought that insulting them back might do something, and I didn't think it would do that.
I grab Jeltra's hand and I just cup it and I press it to my head and then I gently set her hand down. I pull out the loot and I walk towards the half circle.
Is your detect magic still up?
Loot.
Okay, what are you doing with the half circle?
I'm just gonna silently just start playing a soft tune.
Yes, heal them with the power of song. We should do our part. And I begin dancing with Solstice.
Go ahead and give me a performance check.
Okay.
And tell me what kind of emotion you're working to invoke.
Ooh, play Imagine.
No, Beauty and the Beast.
I'm just playing a very soulful, like bluesy tune. Nothing like not trying to play happy or sad, but just full of feeling.
Right, I'm gonna guide you.
Emotive.
Guidance.
Hooray!
Hooray.
Oh yeah, I needed that. That's an extra D4.
Yes.
Okay. So 11 total.
Okay. You see, stepping forward, each step you take as you strum, the grass beneath your feet starts to become green again. But as soon as it comes up, as soon as your foot leaves the spot, it wilts back to brown.
Can we join in?
Percy,
Yep.
with that detect magic up, what you saw in that moment of them splitting, there was a Fey conjuration magic within the circle itself, and the splitting of the mushrooms missed it. Similarly, they were all awakened, and that breaking of the conjuration restored the mushrooms to their natural state.
Okay.
They're not dead, they're just not awakened.
I mean, I would tell everyone what that like.
Jeltra's probably kneeling by the half circle, just like wondering what to do. She's very concerned that she broke it.
There's no source for like the blight or anything.
It's the same thing that you saw when you were coming up to it, that the entire area is corrupted. This seems to be the center of that corruption. As you can see, looking off beyond the clearing, that things begin to get more vibrant and green the further you would get from this circle.
I feel like when we killed the attempted to kill the first hag. There was a little bit of moral ambiguity involved in it, but if this is how this hag behaves, I have no such compunctions this time.
The mushrooms seem to be the only things that are thriving.
Okay.
Everything else is wilting and dying, and leaves are falling, and things are becoming mushy and almost fungal as a whole. But the mushrooms seem like they're doing fine.
You're still on the ground?
I'm kneeling near them, yeah.
I'm gonna kind of like take a knee near you and go, Josha. I think the best we can do is stop this at the source. I know you've been reluctant, but if we can bring an end to this, say we push on.
At this point, the song I'm playing has just delved into Careless Whisper.
You mean Dissonant Whisper?
Dissonant whispers.
No, dissonance bad. I don't want to play dissonant chords.
I really didn't mean to hurt it.
I think it was hurt before we got here. I can tell you honestly, just last evening, it was beautiful here. Paradise. One of the nicest clearings me and Solstice have ever made love in. And they were friendly and jovial and thanked us.
Yeah, this shouldn't be allowed to continue or spread.
And we can't do that mourning the loss of it. Here. And Cody, even though you're a tiny bit bigger than him, is going to give you a piggyback ride.
As you leave the clearing, heading back into the more verdant parts of the forest, which is my favorite word for this episode, it's going to keep getting used.
Verdant.
The additional height that being on Cody's back gives you, putting you close to Solstice height, almost has you walk straight into the branch of a tree from which is hanging another poster. Can you roll a d8 for me?
Poster.
Actually, I won't. I'm going to try that one. No. 3.
The poster is similar to the first one that you all saw near Nib's cave. This one says,
Bring me this imp alive and unharmed, and I'll bury you up to your neck in silver.
What does it say?
It says, bring me this imp alive and unharmed, and I will bury your up to your neck in silver.
and it's another illustration of Will of the Feywild.
It's got Will on it, and I'll hold it down in front of your face.
Here, reply to the letter saying that we are going to bury you in steel.
How do you reply to a poster?
It's like a letter.
Well, we have to know where to send it, right?
Well, you just put it back where you found it.
I'm still playing the lute, and I just
Again, who's to say it won't work?
I will
I'm
look around for a writing implement.
I pull out a pen from earlier. So
Thank you. Solstice, can I borrow your back?
Make sure you make sure you put Granny Nightshade we are going to bury you. We don't want the imp to think we're going to bury him in steel.
As a reminder for all of you, this is what these look like.
Maybe put it on the back. What does Granny Nightshade look like? Just draw a stick figure of a really ugly woman.
I will cross out the top part where it says wanted. And it will show G.N. shall be buried in steel. And I'll
GN, okay.
good night.
should be buried in steel.
You're gonna give yourself FOMO.
Puppies being puppy-like.
They are adorbs. You're all continuing onward?
Should you write to whom it may concern?
Jeez.
I've received
think
several cease and desist letters that start that way.
I think this is sufficient. Tack it back up on the branch.
And we continue on.
And then I duck underneath it.
Do you feel chipper now, or do you wish for me to continue carrying you?
I can get down.
You don't have
Thank
to.
you.
It would have been kind of you to turn into something smaller, but
Oh, well. Usually I like to try and turn into something bigger in case we run into trouble.
have you ever tried to turn into something smaller?
No,
Can you do a squirrel?
I think so.
Squirrels are by far my favorite animal.
I don't know. Well,
What about unicorns?
Unicorns are not animals, Percy.
What about rabbits?
You take or leave rabbits. I prefer herringon.
Ah,
As you all continue northward, now out of this ring of corruption which you've exited, the mountains surrounding Nib's cave, far in the distance behind you, just kind of an outline. Who has a passive perception of 13 or higher?
I do have a
Jack
passive
Rabbit.
perception.
I think it's just me and Jotaro.
yeah, mine's a bit.
Yeah, mine's
Try.
12.
Roughly
No.
60 feet ahead of you, in another clearing that seemed to be sporadically placed as you walked along, where sunlight spreads through this foliage that is generally so dense it creates near twilight on your path. There are about 7 link dogs, all appearing to be in a huddle.
Do I know what a blink dog? Oh no, I do know what a blink dog is because I had one at the carnival.
You
I
did.
don't know if I know what a blink dog
I
is.
look at you like, oh, these things are great. I had a pet one back at the carnival. They're very intelligent and they get you soup whenever you ask for it. So I'm gonna call out, "Good morrow!"
The two of you with your passive perception, all of you can see the dogs. The two of you with your passive perception can see that they are huddled over a pit.
Okay.
Pit.
Oh,
And
So
do
I'll
they
call out,
respond
"Good morrow. Is there a concern?"
What are you calling out? You're calling out in common?
I could do common. No, I'll do Sylvan because I'm in the Feywild, so I'm assuming they speak Sylvan.
Seeing ahead, 2 of the dogs closest to the end turn back to you and growl.
Oh,
The other dogs seem to not have reacted. All of them, now that you're close enough, you can hear they are howling and wailing mournfully.
I'm gonna crouch down to get closer to their height. How large are these dogs?
They are these ones are medium creatures. They're like human size. They're
Okay.
all four.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll still crouch down just to seem less imposing, and it's okay. How do you need help? Are you all right?
Roll an animal handling check.
I'll assist.
Sure.
Advantage, bro.
Let me get a good one. 21.
Okay. The 2 that turned and kind of snarled when they were interrupted, one takes another step forward and puts out a paw and holds it up.
What do I see?
It
Just
just
a paw?
it just holds up its paw.
How close are they?
Right now, if you've stepped forward, they're about 40 feet away from you.
Okay.
The other one turns back to the pit. And this one picks up what appears to be a bundle of flowering sticks off the ground and then turns and drops it into the pit.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Take a knee.
Snaggletooth understood common, right?
Snout did.
Can I kind of like, without disturbing them, look down into the pit?
You can approach, yeah.
I'll approach as well.
Yeah, if you're
Very
actively trying to
carefully.
not disturb what they're doing, none of
Yeah.
them turn or make an immediate acknowledgement again. Getting closer to them as they all continue what they're doing, having seen the knee taken, having seen you both approach respectfully, there is a dead blink dog in the bottom of the pit, and it's clear that bundle of sticks with the flowers on it was one thing that was dropped in. There's other offerings into the pit itself. There's a very shiny river rock, There's another bundle of just flowers. There is a what appears to be like a small log nearly in the shape of a campestry, as if they're all dropping gifts onto their brethren. After they conclude, each of them howling in turn, they use their noses and drop the soft dirt that is dug out on top of the body until the surface is level again.
If they'll let me, I will help.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
I also have a bell I would like to leave for it.
Sure.
Stop reading my mind. I'm like, I'm gonna leave my button. Shush.
Shoo.
As you do that and they see you drop your own gifts, the one standing closest to both of you each turn and nuzzle at your side.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know if you can understand me, but one of my good friends is a blink dog.
What are you speaking?
Common now, because Sylvan didn't seem to get me anywhere before.
It looks at you very confused, and kind of turns its head in that dog listening way.
Mm-hmm. I will try also, just not like saying the same sentence over and over, but I'll try Elvish? Gnomish? Halfling?
The
Sylvan?
blink dogs look at each other and kind of like start chittering back and forth. The remaining 5 that were around the circle all begin to retreat into the forest, but the 2 that were closest to both of you stay. And once you speak Sylvan, both of them like turn back again.
Sylvan, you understand what I'm saying?
There's a nodding.
Okay. I was just saying one of my good friends back home was a blink dog, so I feel for your loss.
It bows, and the other one puts a wet nose in your palm.
Can you tell me what happened? Was it an accident, or did somebody attack your compatriot?
They're like both trying to communicate with each other.
I just
and
don't
they
know
look
if
at
speak
you.
with animals would be offensive in this particular instance.
Can I turn into?
I don't think you can turn into a blink dog.
Now, I don't want to turn into a blink dog, but if I can turn into a dog or even my dire wolf, maybe I'll understand. Hold on, let me look.
I probably won't use it today. I'll cast Speak with Animals, but as subtly as I can.
As you cast it, the howling and wooing turns into supposed to communicate this. I mean, it's very kind of them to come. I appreciate them paying their respects, but they're not going to be able to understand a damn word we're saying.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, good. It's already been a hard day. I thought this was going to get so much more frustrating.
I mean, you could
just-
also cast it if you want. I mean,
I just
you've
look
used
at
it
Cody.
before on the snakes.
As Cody's now communicating with them, I'm going to put a hand on my chest and kind of bow respectfully to them as well. And
I was just-
approach.
I mean, I don't know if you already answered this question earlier, but I was just curious as to what happened.
He was slain while scouting out loom lurch.
You know where Loom Lurch is. That's our destination. We're here to destroy Granny Nightshade.
Oh. Be careful. And they look at each other, kind of concerned, and turn back. There's much to fear there, and it only expands.
Well, we have already defeated the Hag of Hither.
The smelly one.
Yes. I believe her name was like Bag Lorna or something like that.
Bill Lorna.
You don't understand what I'm saying.
Lorna.
Yeah.
It was dog sound, Bab Lorna.
Bag Lorna.
The stink,
Gesundheit.
the stink frog is in Thither.
Is in Hither.
Yes,
But are you saying that she's here?
Thither.
Are we in Hither or Thither?
Thither.
Okay, so you're saying that Bag Lorna has come here?
The stink frog.
She's here
Yes,
with Granny Nightshade.
visiting her terrible sister.
I have bad news.
Oh no.
Why?
Slayer of friends, and they both howl mournfully into the sky.
What's wrong?
Well, the Blink Dogs are telling me that Bag Lorna is here.
Oh, that is dire.
So we can finally kill her then.
Bad Lorna.
Yes,
Bad Lorna.
Bad Lorna.
Bad Lorna.
Bad Lorna.
If you could just point us in the right direction, we have a hard time navigating your realms.
We can point, but go no further.
I do not ask you to put yourself at further risk.
They turn in the direction that you've been walking and point northward. You go, be wary. The scarecrows in her garden scream loudly if they spot intruders.
So beware scarecrows.
She uses clockwork sparrows to communicate with those wicked sisters.
Clockwork sparrows.
And next to Loom Lurch is a rather nice Goblin Market that sells all sorts of candy treats.
Do you like treats?
I do like treats.
Do you like crickets? As I flourish and cast Goodberry.
Both of the dogs sort of swarm your hands like if you were to bring out a thing of treats, as they sort of never actually blinking but look kind of flickery as they get excited, sort of disappearing and reappearing in the exact same spot, both like
And then I take out
very wet and slobbery.
And then I take out a little pouch of biscuits that I used to give to Snaggletooth. And it's like, for your friends.
One of them takes the bag in its mouth without opening it or doing anything else, and they both wag as they turn and nod at the party, and then both of them
Sorry for your loss.
poof out of existence.
So apparently there's a Goblin Market. That sounds interesting.
Handy.
We have a few.
Are they selling goblins or is it run by goblins?
Ooh,
That
good
is a good
distinction.
question.
Good distinction. Did you
And
ask?
I didn't. But I feel like either situation.
Goblins selling goblins.
leaving this clearing in roughly the direction the dogs were pointing at, the same direction that Nib was telling you to go, heading northwards, you find this edge of a river flowing through the forest. It's easy to cross. There's a bridge that leads to the other side to continue on this northern path. And in the distance, where you see more of these cliffs that are sporadically raising out of the forest, there is the reflection of blue, as clearly there is some sort of water source.
Where roughly are we, do we think? Out there.
As we're going over the bridge, I want to just, knowing our history with water sources, I'm going to look over and see if I see anything odd. Like, do I see a different place? Do I see other faces? Is there a nude satyr?
Wait, sorry, where are you looking to see this?
As we're going over the bridge.
Oh, okay.
As we're going over the bridge, passing over the river, I'm going to look into the water and see if the water reflects anything aside from my own reflection back at me.
Looking down into this burbling stream that seems to be particularly shallow in the location that you are, you merely see yourself.
Well, at least the water's not magic. It's okay.
No.
You're okay. It's all right. Do you want to? Here, hold my hand. You're fine. It's okay. We're all right. And then completely lose focus from the water and just worrying about Nikki. I'm like, it's okay. Just look at me.
I would like to use
Go
Mage
relax.
Hand to splash Nickade with water.
So
You dick.
And then go, who did that?
Upon feeling the water, I rabbits jump straight yeah.
hopefully you don't land in the water though. So that would be
in whatever
good height.
if we're walking forward and the bridge is still going,
Okay.
and then as soon as I land, take off to pass the bridge back to land.
That was not very nice.
I didn't do it.
I don't like this new ability.
Nickade, as you bolt into the forest, you come to this ridge. Oh.
Sorry.
The
You
Mimic
see
Bridge.
Mist drift over the surface of a small lake. Forested crags line the shore on the sides of the lake. Mossy rocks crude from the shallows, and near the center of the lake is a rocky islet.
Islet?
That's what I was like, how? How do we...
Beautiful. So can we kind of tell, looking at the size of this lake, like which way going around it is going to be best? Like, can we tell that there's these like mountainy looking on the right? So.
Yes. Yeah, you can see from this ridge, you can see kind of like up to the shoreline itself, where there is that backdrop of cliffs.
Okay. So we should probably go to the left to go around this water feature.
Wait, does Cody have Mage Hand? Okay.
Are you going towards like the shore of the lake? Or are you just going through the forest around it? Like, how are you?
I guess as we're approaching it, as we're catching up to McCade and just kind of like judging, I think to the right, to the left would be less precarious and a less precarious journey, although we will be easier to see by our mysterious winged menace.
Well, and I mean, we have to keep an eye out for clockwork. What was it?
Clockwork sparrows and scarecrows, because in the last mirror, scarecrows were good, so in this one, they're bad again.
Oh,
They are the hag's creations.
Yes.
I'm looking for clockwork sparrows.
I love it. So, weaving and wending your way down, there seems to be a path that would lead you to the lake shore, where you could continue to that left, kind of a westward path that would take you out of the way of these cliffs. As you go down, the mist becomes thicker, almost cloyingly so, to the point where you can't really see anything but what's immediately in front of you and 10 feet in each direction.
Oh, this is like a normal course.
Dilcher,
I didn't take this. Yes.
I'm betting we're gonna need some sort of large animal soon. I don't
Okay.
like this.
Solstice. Something is very familiar. Something feels natural, homey, almost.
Do I get the sense this is like a crossing to where I lived?
No.
Oh. This place feels familiar. Do you sense it?
What?
Shoes look for...
No, my love. Could
Something I could do. I guess I could detect evil and good, which tells me if things have been hallowed.
also wolves and celestials, I believe.
Yeah, and Faye. I'll go ahead and give that a shot. Let's see. I can sense anything affected by hallow spell and the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that is not behind cover.
If your Oath of Ancients does not add Fey to.
It just, no, this says celestial fiend undead.
Yeah, that's
So-
rebuke.
There is nothing close enough to where you all are to ping it, but this is hallowed.
Interesting. Let us be respectful in this place.
It should have only taken you maybe 10 minutes to reach the shore of the lake from the path that you took. After what feels like 20 to 30 minutes of walking, you end up out at the bridge again.
Whoa!
Was Percy leading us?
I just.
Hey! I have impeccable direction. I would not get us lost.
Yes, and I am a consummate liar.
Yeah, you are.
What's going on, Solstice?
I don't know. The mists maybe are magical. Maybe they are made to confuse and confound a traveler.
Could it be that something is trying to protect the lake?
Perhaps. Keep us from getting close to it.
I was just thinking maybe we followed someone with a limp and just kept veering to the left.
None of us have limbs.
That's true.
None of us are named Eileen.
Oh, come on.
Or this thing.
Do we? Oh God! Do we have to
The
get?
trees themselves just go, ugh.
You see a few leaves wilt.
Or this again could be one of the hag's distortions.
When you sensed, you felt evil here?
Hallow is like good, right? Yeah, no, I sense a sense of peace, consecrated ground.
You can also feel cursed too.
Forest trickery, hollowed ground. You said it felt oddly familiar.
It does.
Could it be one of your kin?
It's been a long time since I've sensed that. Could be. We are from the Feywild originally.
Perhaps call out to them? Maybe they would permit us if they knew you were of their ilk.
Give out a little horse bugle.
Looking inward towards the direction that you call, the mists seem to part. To the rest of you, nothing happens.
Well, that was a good try.
No, the path has appeared.
Where?
Huh?
I'm looking at the ground.
Perhaps I am the only one that can see it now. I start to walk towards it.
I grab your whatever.
Yeah, maybe I tie everybody together and I start walking towards this gap.
Cody
Like in a line, like, you know what I mean?
Cody kind of like scratches his chin for a second and is like, if it is what we think it is, I believe it's best that Solstice go on his own. I mean, he was the one who was invited. It would be rude of us to try and force the issue.
That makes sense.
Plus, if you've never seen a unicorn kill a person, you have truly never been aroused.
The horror, the agony, the ecstasy.
Beauty.
In hollowed ground?
I just looked at Percy and I go, I don't.
The spilling of blood is not inherently infernal.
I kneel before you and I take your hand. I will go on this path alone, but nothing will keep me away from you. I hope you know.
Go freely and with my blessing, my love. Return to me.
You're always very supportive. I travel in there and do it.
As you walk forward, it becomes very clear that you were all, like, less than a minute away from the shore. Looking back, you can still see them on the other side of this. To all of you, Solstice has
trying not
vanished. He takes a few steps forward and is gone into this mist, as it almost seems that the foliage is closing in denser down the path that he took.
Children, it is my turn to be comforted.
All right. He'll be back. I'm sure.
On the other
shoulder.
Cade, and I kind of like drop to my knees and like snuggle into you.
Yeah.
All right. He'll be fine. He'll be all
I don't want
right.
to make you uncomfortable first.
on the other side of this, once you reach it's a rocky shore with beautiful flowering lily pads stretching out into the lake itself. The water a crystal clear azure blue, all still, not a wave in sight except for very slight ripples in a lovely cooling breeze. And in the center you see that island rising up out of the water, on which sits a brazier.
I will act in as respectful manner as possible. Like, you know, I don't know what unicorn customs might be, but like I approach as respectfully as I can. I will swim to the islet.
Okay.
And is the brazier lit?
It is not. Okay. As you light the brazier, getting out of the water, and the temperature around you seems to adjust itself to make even being soaking wet the most comfortable it could be, almost warming as the breeze picks up to help dry out your clothing. The lakeshore mists part to reveal a white horse with a single gleaming horn on her brow. She stands perfectly still, silently observing you.
Greetings, majestic matron. I take a knee.
The unicorn steps and brings its front leg beneath to bow in return.
on my own so far and so changed.
Do I recognize her or have any sense of who she might be?
Melina, not all unicorns.
I was gonna say, she's part of the male.
Not
She called me one of my own.
No, she's not familiar, but she is definitely a unicorn.
Okay. Yes, it is a long story, but it is a visage I wear in the name of love, and has been a worthy trade. What finds you here?
I see it is of the hag's ilk that you have found yourself here. I'm glad that you're not upset about it. Often their gifts are rather curses.
Yes, it is hard to some days when I think of my previous body, but I assume, but when I return to my true form long after my love has withered and died a human life, it will still have felt worth it. I'm sorry.
She steps forward and rests her head upon your shoulder and says, "Oh, child, I fear this curse may not go as planned, but I wish whatever happiness you have wrought continues."
This is also an outcome I can't bear to think of. Thank you, madam, for sparing me.
As you have come in peace, this is my domain.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. It is a shame that it has been cut so short.
She looks kind of woefully out to the shores themselves, into the mists.
I fear shorter every day.
Because of the hag?
My mate has been taken. We rule together.
Terrible.
I feel he is alive.
Madam, you must allow me to help you with this. Do you know where he could be?
I believe he was taken for a specific purpose.
And as she speaks, the waves begin to animate, meeting the story as she tells it.
Ooh.
She tells you of the domain of Prismere, once belonging to an archfey Zybilna, as the water forms into this fey with this billowing cloaks, nearly silent even though it should be rushing. But it was usurped by her cruel hag stepsisters. Zybilna was vainglorious, deceitful at times, but her magic kept Prismere safe and isolated. The situation ended when these Hourglass Coven captured her mate, Eladon. They stole his horn and used its magic in her stronghold, the Palace of Heart's Desire. Eladon's horn may be needed to free Zybilna, but Lamorna doesn't know where the whereabouts of Eladon or his horn have landed. I do believe that he is the hag's prisoner now. If he had died, I know I would have sensed it, as I'm sure you would have sensed loss of your love.
I can only hope to be so lucky. Yes, the cruel hag may be keeping him alive as another trinket in her horrible collection. I will get him back. I will free the mighty Eldon and return his horn to him, because this is what is right.
I would be incredibly grateful for your assistance and aid. I fear that if I leave my domain, she will take it.
We can't have that. I will help you. Is there anything else that will aid us in our takedown of this vile being?
I can tell you about where Our Lady may be resting.
It is Granny Nightshade?
Zybilna.
Oh, right. Yes. Where is Vilna?
When she ruled Prismere, no one could enter her palace without an invitation. It's unlikely that the Coven is capable of enforcing a similar restriction on this place, so you should not have trouble entering its gates. There is a library on the second floor of the palace that contains her most treasured tomes. And in this realm, a dragon-like creature called a Jabberwock lives in the palace and patrols the forest.
Fearsome.
It tries to reach the Wayward Pool, but it's always turned away by my magic. I would recommend you avoid Jabberwock, for once it sets its fiery eyes on prey, it rarely gives up. I've seen it reach the edges of my mist, and I'm grateful that my hallowing has helped.
Yes, your magic. I am grateful it keeps you safe. We will try to take down the creature. It does not deserve to live.
If you can free her without, then I would recommend it.
Oh, okay.
Just for your own safety's sake. But if you must face it, I wish you all blessings.
Is there a way to help it, to help it realize that it can free itself?
It is a creature of evil.
Okay.
Without control of a greater being, I think there is no turning that monster around.
I did not. The will of the Feywild, is he an ally we can trust?
She kind of whinnies and neighs as she prances a little bit. Oh, silly, silly creature that. The magic is not as wise as its creator. My wards, they recognized what you were and allowed you to pass. It seems that they have a very loose definition of the unicorn. The children made their way through the mists.
Oh!
Get equipped with a horn.
It can be the ideas of a young mind that truly delight.
I turned them back, but I wish them well. I think he does not like me, and I think he is not what he seems, but his heart is true.
Well, he seems like he could have a trick up his sleeve, if nothing else.
I think that he will do nothing but good for this realm as long as his path remains as it should.
Once we rid these lands of these hags, hopefully balance will be restored.
And to that end, I wish you the greatest of luck, and I wish you find the horn.
I bow to her again, and I give her my weird lute with cat hair for strings.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
As and the key to the mare's bridle that we never found the bridle, so I'll go ahead and present those to her. Thank you again, lady. I hope to see you soon with your love. Fully restored, of course.
These are too kind. I wish for you to take some of my waters.
Ooh.
Bring them with you and use them as needed.
Thank you. Get some water.
Yeah, it's once it is identified down the line, if you take a vial of the water, it acts as greater restoration.
Oh, neat.
Nice.
I've been here for a while and I return to everyone else.
As you all on the opposite ends of the shore are waiting for Tempest to return, anybody with a passive perception of 15 or higher.
That's me.
Ooh, that's still so high.
17 or higher. Sorry, I misread it.
17? Who has that?
in this book.
What? I know. Page.
Apologies. 15 or higher for the first one, 17 or higher for the second one. We're getting there. We're getting there. So 15 or higher. There's a feeling that you're being watched.
Sorry.
I know, the squeaking is adorable.
Yeah, we changed some of the sound settings, so there's some noise cancellation on the mics right now, running through OBS. So I'm curious if that's going to be audible in the editing or not.
We're just laughing randomly.
Yeah.
There's a puppy playing with puppy toys right outside the door.
Yes. So as we're comforting, oh my god, I just lost everybody's name.
Cody.
Cody. As we're comforting Cody, I will
It's
elbow
okay.
Nikki.
I mean, it was bound to happen eventually.
He's
I
gonna
was
be
gonna
fine.
die,
He's gonna
and
come
he was
back.
gonna keep living forever and just be a magical creature. You know,
Is someone watching us?
Yeah, always.
No, I mean,
You asked.
I'm looking at. I'm actively looking for somebody who might
Okay.
be watching us now.
And now
As
that-
you,
I'm sorry.
as you were looking, Solstice comes back through the mists.
I did have a question while that interaction was happening.
Go ahead.
And I'm assuming magic kind of played a hand in it, but you said that in reality we were only like a couple minutes away.
Like 2 minutes maybe walk.
Okay. Did we hear any of that
No.
interaction at all? Okay.
No.
So it was,
What
was
you
completely
hear
like she was gone.
Is the soft lapping of
Cody's tears.
water on the lake shore,
Okay.
distantly.
Okay.
he's gone. He's never returning.
Maybe I was going to say something really cruel and I shouldn't because that's me, not Jeltra.
I'm just saying, it was too good to be true. I flew too close to the sun. I took a beautiful creature and selfishly asked it to be with me. You know what I mean? Like, who does things like that?
Okay, but if Zolt is going to do that without wanting to be with you, I mean, can you really tell him what to
Was it
do?
fair of me even to ask?
And as that is said,
fine.
Solstice emerges from the mists, which to Solstice just look like an open pathway.
I see you crying and I come charging in. What has been done to you?
I'm just having...
Have you been betrayed by our band already?
No, I'm just getting in my feelings about how I should have never asked you to change your life, and I asked you to lower yourself to such a degree just to be with such a creature such as myself.
Indeed, it was beautiful seeing the form I used to hold. Because, yeah, there was a unicorn in there.
You met a unicorn?
I did not get her name. I got her maid's name.
Lamorna.
Lamorna. Yes, Lamorna. She unfortunately has come into contact with the hag and has suffered. So I explain everything she told me. I don't talk about the now knowing that I probably will be human until I die. And so yeah, I tell you guys that. I've already forgotten it all, so I'm gonna have to rewatch that part.
As Solstice is telling you this discussion that happened, there's a rustling in the bushes, and out of them flings daggers.
Daggers.
As Solstice, does a 19 or a 15 hit you?
The 19 is.
4 piercing damage as you're mid-story and the first of these falls upon you.
Foul!
I'm assuming we're rolling initiative.
Yes.
As soon as that happens, can I throw my flame? Because I did produce flame.
This is a surprise round,
it!
so that'll be
Okay.
initiative now.
Boo!
And for those of you on YouTube who are going to say it, we know there's no such thing as surprise rounds, but it's our lives. So
I believe it's in the book and in the rules, but a cloaked figure springs from the forest and with blades flashing attacks. Under the assassin's cowl, you see a wide, toothy smile.
Does it look like Will of Feywild?
No.
Okay.
At least not from the wanted posters. All right, Jeltra.
21.
Awesome. Kate.
14.
Percy.
3.
Oh no, buddy.
I was on an edge. I rolled. We'll talk about it.
Cody.
22.
Excellent. And Solstice?
That's 7.
Do we need to have a long talk with your dice after game?
Quite possibly.
Okay.
Excellent. So that is going to put us with Zara the Whisper.
Who?
Who?
Zara.
Sorry.
What?
So as it comes out of this darkness, you see an orc cloaked in heavy garments and whipping more daggers from its pocket. It begins to move forward and flings 2 more daggers, one at Geltra and one at Cody. That will be a 9 and a 10 to hit, respectively.
No.
Managed to get my own dagger and knock his out of the air.
You hear him curse as he begins to, he pulled aside his cloak, and you just see, dagger, 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 dagger.
Bandoliers.
Yes. And that'll bring us to Cody.
So as I would like to step in front of Solstice protectively, and then go, that's why I switched to darts! Before I do that, I will cast Zephyr Strike. And then I will make my attack roll. What is going on? Oh, that's my inventory screen, that's why. Alright, so 15 plus 3, 18?
18 will hit.
Okay, so that will be a sharp shot because it's 15 plus 3.
Okay.
As opposed to the 23 I actually rolled. I should have said that before I rolled
That's
it,
all
but I
right.
did roll a 23. Okay, so as it strikes him, I would like to hunter's mark him. I will have wasps fly out because I'm pissed. And I will also activate Zephyr Strike. So give me a second. I gotta roll a lot of stuff.
Wait. So, okay. Dart, Hex, and Zephyr Strike.
It's Hunter's Mark, which goes off when I hit him. My Swarm goes off when I hit him, and then the Zephyr Strike I can, as a free action, once while the spell's going off, also do additional damage.
Okay.
So it's just one big hit, and then I'm kind of... That's all I can do. Alright, so it's going to be 19 for the base damage. 2 for my favored foe. I have to spend one of those. It's 1d6 for my... Somebody's keeping track of this, right?
No.
Only 1 from my swarm, and then a d8 plus... Where did you go? D8. 5. So...
27.
Yeah.
You see as he fluidly sort of shakes out of the way, and it's clear that while it didn't hit like you thought. Uncanny dodge.
And then I will look at him and go, well, that's annoying. And then I will step out of my love's way.
Right. That'll bring us down to Jiltra.
Okay, so I had produced
You
flame in
see
my
him
hand.
go.
And I will cast the flame from my hand towards the orc. I'm trying to catch his cloak on fire.
Okay.
So let's see here, produce flame. Ooh, 19.
That will hit.
Okay. And then that's, oh wow. So 6 damage. 6 fire damage.
And you are in range.
Yeah, within 30 feet.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and when that
Actually, and how large is this log right here? Is it just on the ground?
the one, yeah, it's just on the ground.
Okay. And there's not much cover I can get from it.
No.
Hold on, hold your horses. Hold your horses.
Okay.
Hold your solstice.
With his 22, he does not catch fire.
Dang it.
but he does take the damage.
Okay.
I'm holding my sword.
Yep. Hold your solstice. All right.
Is that a horse joke?
Nickade.
Just getting annoyed at that Solstice's incredible tale of encountering another unicorn. Being annoyed that that's getting interrupted, I'm gonna turn and face the orcish figure, and I'm going to just kind of hum to myself as I'm sitting there seething, and I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers.
Dissonant.
Can it make a? It's more of a do 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 do.
Maybe Jeopardy. Okay.
A wisdom save.
14.
That is my save DC. Damn it.
Okay.
I think he still takes
I
half.
think he takes half. Yeah,
He does.
Let me triple check. Okay. Okay. So he's gonna take 9 halved.
As it takes him and you see him grab his head with these sounds racking his brain, he cries out, "Damn you, kill it!"
Damn you! What?
Kellic. Solstice.
Can I also bonus action go? I don't. Solstice, we'll get back to your story. Do your worst. And grant Solstice bardic inspiration.
That's not my name.
Okay, so I run up to him and I shall attack with Mind Glaive.
And you have a D6.
And a D12.
Okay, so that's gonna be dirty 20.
That'll hit.
And
Maybe.
we'll do 6 damage. Oh, let me smite too. So let me do. So what did I say? I said 6 plus 7
It's 13.
plus 13 plus 2 more, 15.
And with that,
I would like to be within 5 feet then.
Drop.
Oh, okay. Well. Bye.
death.
Oh, cruel rogue. I checked the body.
What did he say? What did he say? He said something?
What
He
did he
said
call
he
me?
really wanted to kill us. I'm
Did he-
assuming it's Orcish for kill us.
Oh.
I don't speak Orcish.
Go ahead and roll for investigation. You are out of combat.
Okay, investigating.
Should have talked to it.
Yeah, probably 13.
Probably should have said that before you lit him on fire.
Well, I did mean to light him on fire.
I didn't do anything physical to him.
There are at least 10 mundane daggers in these bandoliers remaining across his chest underneath this cloak. Everything that he is wearing is not from here.
I hand you 4 crickets
Thank you.
for your 4 damage you took.
Okay.
He does have a satchel.
What's in the satchel?
What's in the bag?
Does it have a cold beating heart in it? Is this Nickade from the future?
He became an orc.
Maybe he got
Hey,
reincarnated.
weirder things have happened.
Are you guys going to go through his satchel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm keeping an eye out for anybody else.
I mean, I'm gonna take those daggers.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna take the daggers and put them all in my waistcoat.
Also, on his body is a potion of invisibility
Ooh.
and a letter written in common.
I hand that to Percy. He's the reading dude.
Do you want the daggers if I can take the potion of
It's fine, I have my darts.
Sweet.
Percy?
What's the letter say?
It has a crude map of Thither driven on it with an X
over the lake. And it says underneath it, target, gather horn.
I kill him again.
There is a watermark at the bottom corner of the letter in this ornate crest of what appears to be some sort of caster standing with fire coming out of one hand and lightning coming out of the other. And it reads in the arc, the League of Malevolence. The letter is signed. Yours sincerely, Kellic.
Who the fuck is Kellic?
P.S. If you fail, I will have you murdered and remove any gold that you have ever earned from any of your forebears. P.P.S. We can't do this without the horn. You son of a bitch, do your damn job.
Who is this guy from? The League of Mega Legends?
Malevolence. It means evil.
Do I see anyone else?
Go ahead and roll perception.
Hold on. 21.
Forrest is near silent. It seems that all of this kind of scared away any of the creatures that were in the immediate vicinity. Nobody else.
You said he was a half orc, right?
Full orc.
He's a full orc, so he has tusks.
He has tusks. You see now getting closer to his body, he is very small for an orc. Like, if you didn't see his skin and the tusks coming out, this could be like a hairless dwarf. It's a very small
I
man.
would like to remove his tusks and present them to my love. He came for your lady's horn. I feel like this is only appropriate that you have these.
Wait,
A reminder of this film.
did
What we
someone...
must march for.
May
What I-
I see them real quick? And while everyone continues talking, Percy's gonna like use the red tool for the job and create some artisan tools and start making a necklace.
Okay.
Wow.
So wait, I'm confused. Was he the one to remove the unicorn's horn, or was he sent to steal the unicorn's horn from
The Lady of the Lake.
the Lady of the Lake? No.
There was a lady at the lake.
Lorna.
Yes, the Lamorna.
I thought that was a unicorn.
A lady unicorn.
No, I'm
Do I travel with racists?
How is that racist?
no, what I
Generally, when someone says lady of the lake, it usually takes to mean like human and female. However, I didn't know since we weren't there if there was someone else there with Solstice.
That is a good point.
No, was he sent to steal the unicorn horn from the hag, or was he sent to get it from the Lady of
I
the
mean,
Lake?
clearly he has a map leading to the lake, and there is a unicorn with a horn at the lake.
Right, but there wasn't. They already got the horn.
No, Lamorna still has... Your lady, she still has her horn, correct?
She does. Perhaps they were going to obtain her after having failed at whatever nefarious thing they were doing with her lover.
Whoever these magnificent wizards are, they're not very smart if they think they can just march into a unicorn's territory and cut their horn off.
They're legends.
I mean,
He
we
was
tried to
League
walk
of them.
through.
He was very easy to kill.
Happens when you level up early.
What do you mean?
You're
Yeah.
not supposed to
It's
be
what
able to
happens
do
when you don't.
Oh,
I gave him extra HP. You still down.
Boost!
he uncanny dodged my big hit, too, the bastard.
Continue. Sorry.
I think the Lady of the Lake is safe. I think he was also going after.
Lamorna.
Yes.
Oh. Belton.
We're,
There's a lot of names in this episode.
Yeah,
I got all twisted up.
You mentioned in your story that she said that the imp, the will, he felt that he might be helpful. That his magic was misguided.
She indicated he's innovative, if not a bit mischievous and reckless. But he's young. He sounds like that sounds normal.
Perhaps instead of going straight for the hag, we should seek him out.
I feel like,
I like
any
it.
more allies that we can acquire might be helpful, especially with how things went over in Thither.
Nothing else, you should have good information. Good intel.
The real magic are the friends we make along the way.
That's true.
Well said.
We've killed most of the people we've met along the way.
That's also true. But the friends that we've gained are very special.
Are great. You remember?
Like Jingle Jangle and the old woman who you had a strange bond with.
She was great. I hope Jingle Jangle's doing okay.
Light sleeper.
Murder Toes was a little here or there. Was neither here nor there.
Bloody Toes, was it?
Yeah.
Murder Toes.
I don't know if
Either
I would
one.
consider Murder Toes a
Toesy
friend.
Toes.
So off to find Ian.
Where did he come from?
Where did he go?
North of here. The Nib did tell you that both Loomlurk and the location where the Getaway Gang live are north of his cave.
Okay. So we keep going.
No.
As you leave this clearing, skirting the mists themselves, Tempest, you can... I did it.
You almost.
Yeah.
I almost made it. Solstice, you can see the lake clearly now. The mist is no longer even evident to you. For the rest of you, it's like you're walking along the edge of what appears to be this near wall that covers all of the trees.
Put my hand through. Just.
You make your way,
You missed
which
the
to Solstice just looks like
I'm sorry.
Jeltra just waving. Like,
Just amazing.
The lady's magic presses the skin in a delightful way.
you
And
make
moisturizes very well.
My first little
You'd think I had enough
It's
unicorn
humid.
in me that it wouldn't affect me either.
I don't know.
I mean, that goes away after a little while. It's not permanent.
I mean, stomach acid.
making your way around the edge of the wayward
No stomach
pool,
acid involved in the way I got it.
which we can now reveal another
Whoa.
layer to all of you. The wayward pool.
All right.
You leave the cliffs
Sorry.
around the edge and make your way back into the density of the forest. As another few hours into it, it feels like none of the distances make sense. It takes you way too long to get to some places, way too short to get to others, and a clearing opens up in front of you where you see a gigantic gnarled oak come into view. Unlike other oaks in this forest, in this area around that looks verdant, this tree looks unhealthy and has golden brown leaves. A thick carpet of those dead leaves surround it, and 3 rusty sickles lie partially buried among the leaves. Standing next to each of these weapons is a bleeding goat. Ma!
Weird.
8 tiny houses made of woven twigs are nestled among the boughs of the tree, while squirrels dart nervously around these wee domiciles.
What the fuck are we looking at?
Can we take time to ritually cast Detect Magic on this one? 'Cause, I feel like something's going on here.
Please go right ahead.
Okay. 10 minutes later.
As you all stand at the edge of this forest, as you look at these, the goats seem like they keep trying to like get down to pick up the sides, but with their squared off teeth, every time they do, they just drop them back into the leaves. And as your detect magic finally goes off, each of the goats is surrounded in transmutation magic, blaringly bright, as if fresh.
So those shouldn't be goats.
Percy, do we... I can't believe I'm about to ask this. Do we heal the goats or do we finish the job as they keep trying to pick up the sides?
I don't know if we should kill them. When Jeltra gets killed, when she's an animal, she turns back into Jeltra.
That's true.
I can go either way. We can heal or we can... Let's put them out of their misery. I don't know which way to go here.
Jeltra, I'm tapped out. Do you want to ask the squirrels what we should do?
Maybe.
Or my love?
I actually, again, didn't take speed today.
I can. Don't have it.
I do not.
Can
But I can guide you.
Mhm.
Can I
No, because you're not doing anything.
I'll pull up some tarot cards and just see if any of my distant relatives are telling me to kill or heal.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have an
Are
ability.
you trying
for
to
it or
get like
anything.
a free wheeler woe out of Coulter?
Shut up, it's working.
I mean,
Just give me an insight check.
okay, that fucking make me look like an idiot. Trying to be all creative about it. Insight.
I know that's. I'm giving you the insight based
I
on
thank
this. There's
you.
no reason for you to have it otherwise.
Thank you. I guess insight does make sense. 16.
Whispering in your ear. There's just this little.
Fuck the goats. I never liked goats. These don't look like good goats. They're ugly. Not in the way goats are supposed to be ugly.
I just as I'm shuffling my
Racist
tarot
Uncle
cards.
Murray.
Uncle Murray. They're cute, okay? Billy goats are cute. I got a bad feeling about these goats.
Well, let's ask the villagers.
What
I
villagers?
cast speak with animals, and I say hello to the goats. Are you okay, goats?
Us. Out!
Out of where? They're tied up, right?
No, they're just they're standing there.
Okay,
They're
out of
frozen.
where?
As you approach the goats, there's this pink, purple, and blue distinct sparkling that comes within the air as 3 pixies become visible,
Yeah.
and all of them go, "Don't touch the goats!"
Oh. Hello.
And that is where we'll end today.
Oh.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening, everybody. We really appreciate y'all being here, and I'm looking forward to finding out what happens with the goats next session.
Malfeasance.
So next week we slaughter a bunch of goats.
We do.
Maybe.
We do.
You know, it could happen.
Cody took a oath to never harm a cloven being, so I don't know if I could.
What
know
about
if
eating
I
one?
could.
Because it can be biddy of them.
No.
Mm.
I feel like it would be awkward for him to eat a goat in front of his love.
We're going to take a brief break, and then we'll be back with our second episode of Candlekeep Mysteries with our new book, DM'd by Sir Excellent. And with that, thank you so much to our patrons, Sparky, David, Daniel, Rio's mom, Alistair, Sean, Rockelman, Death's Grasp, Eric, Fox, and Miko. Please let us know if there's anything you want to see. I'm still working, which I've been working on for way too long, but I'm still trying to finish it. A little short video as a companion to our eventually talk show on character creation World of Darkness. We're going to be working on some more of those short videos this year, so keep an eye out as we keep chugging along with that. And with that, eventually tag mine a with a come will we?
We.
Good night, everybody.